Hi, this is Katinka Marianistor, and you're watching The Cultural Conversation. Our lovely guest today is Claire Thomas, mental fitness and mindfulness coach. Tune in.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, Katinka. How are you?
Good, very good. I'm really happy to be able to catch up with you. International Women's
Likewise.
Day just passed, so I'm really happy that we can have this chat today and that you are
Yeah,
available.
celebrating so many powerful women out there. It's amazing.
Powerful women, women empowerment. Let's talk a bit about that. How have you
Yeah.
been empowered women? What have you been up to lately?
So I have been on a journey of trying to help women see the value that they have inside them. Really comes from a place of seeing so many women out there struggling and people pleasing and putting themselves last. And I think well, days like International Women's Days are so powerful because they make us stop and think about everything that we do and we can accomplish, and we put so much pressure on ourselves and we are capable of so many things, but we still carry around so much self-doubt and lack of confidence, and every single woman out there is unique and powerful, and it's just so important that we celebrate that.
Yes, I agree with that. The women you work with, where do they come from? Which corporate world? You've been in the corporate world, as I know. What fields?
um so some of them come from the corporate world, some of them are just women that I know that I've met on the school gate or networking locally, for example. um I seem to attract women that have some sort of innate creativity somewhere in them sometimes. So um they've maybe got an unexpressed creativity that they had when they were a child, but then they've gone down this path that's been a lot more corporate or analytical, and all of that creativity has been pushed to one side. And yeah, and they get to a certain point in their lives when they kind of have lost who what their true self is, um, and reconnecting with something creative helps them find themselves again, and through that they get their confidence.
And how do you help them enhance their best traits? And
So a lot of
also, how long does it take for you? Like I know that this is like human nature, ongoing work. But like usually when you get in touch with a new client, I wouldn't even call it client. Like I'll call her like with a new fellow fellow traveler in this journey called life. How long does it take until you see the first results of her? Practically, I think what you do is just help women surrender into and drop into their feminine. Because what I see, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see lately is that women are just um, pushed or forced to be more in their masculine, uh,
Totally.
especially in the work field, professionally nowadays. So all of a sudden, and also I feel like men have become more soft. So it's a reverse of roles that doesn't do any good for any of us, for any parties. But like women now, we shout for women rights and for equality, but at the same time, um, doing the job that maybe a man should do, like being a provider, not in terms of don't work, don't go to work, but like, now we are, uh, especially mums. I'm thinking about mums now. I don't know, because also International Women Day, super close to
Mhm.
Mother's Day. In Romania, where I come from, they're celebrated on the same day, Mother's Day. It's actually more Mother's Day than International Women's Day. You have to take on all the roles, like doctor, cooker, playmate, teacher, everything, personal assistant, for your child. Do that, then go to job, smash it, then pay the bills,
Yeah.
cook dinner, be nice, be lovely, be social, be open, talk to your friends, catch up with you, have time for yourself. When do you have the time to have time for yourself? And like, so how long does it take for you to get a woman to relax and drop in her feminine
Yeah.
and just be like, hey, wait. I got this.
I mean, I think as you've alluded to, it's always going to be a journey, and that journey never ends, which can sound depressing. But then also, if you look at it through the reference point of it being a journey you can enjoy for each moment, then that's less overwhelming. But when on an individual level, it really comes down to the experiences that each person has had, and how willing they are to look inside, to find what's holding them back. Or it's kind of like having an onion, and your true essence is right in the center of that onion, and you've got to peel back all those layers, and each layer is going to make you cry as you peel it back. And you can't really, as a coach or that works in mindfulness and mindset, you can ask your client a question, but you can't make them get it on a deep level unless they're ready to. So you can point them in the right direction, but they'll only go as willing as they're able to, and they'll also only go as deep as I'm willing to take myself, which means that I'm constantly on my own journey of self-discovery. But all of that said, you can have pretty big shifts quite quickly using a few different tools. So I work with using a framework through positive intelligence, for example. And with that, they have a way of identifying how everybody self-sabotages. And just being able to identify the top ways that you self-sabotage is really useful, because it's like having a light bulb shone on how you use and overuse your greatest qualities, and how those behaviors formed when you were younger as a protection mechanism to keep you safe. But as you grow up, you keep those behaviors in place and they become unconscious. So you don't know that you're behaving in ways that are detrimental to you. And those behaviors appear in every facet of your life, whether it's at work, at home, whether it's with your boss, your partner, your kids, your dog. It could be with, anywhere. And then the other tool is mindfulness. And the reason I find it really powerful to combine the two is because mindfulness is about having an awareness of your thoughts. It's not necessarily about stopping your thoughts. It's just being aware of them being there. And when you're aware of them being there and you can slow right down, it's like watching a film on slow-mo, and you have all that time and space to then be aware of your behavior and then choose what you want your response to be in that moment. And that then becomes very, very powerful.
This comes with time, with practice and time, and being able to
Lots
become an
of practice.
observer of the things
Yeah.
you do, and perhaps even counting to 10 before you open your mouth and say something that maybe does not come from your genuine intention, but it comes from a wound existing in yourself, and it's just your
Yes.
system reacting to something
Yeah.
that it triggered it. But
Yeah.
diving deeper into self-sabotaging,
Yeah.
what's your take on this, on family bonds and family programming, on like on things that we have no idea about, but that we came to embody as we grew up, because we inherited them from our parents or from our lineage, going
Yeah.
backwards, behaviors or mentalities, or how do you tackle that, and how do you gently um, heal that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely believe, like, for example, when my daughter was in my womb, inside her eggs is the energy of the future generation, and and beyond. And when you take that back, so there's definitely this energy and this way of being that gets passed down through family lines. I've recently certified, on one of the first to have certified in a technique that Dr. Ezzie Spencer developed called the Splinter Method. And it's a really fascinating method that combines, it's a very gentle, feminine, benevolent process that kind of takes you within. And if you have a belief or an unconscious vow, she calls it, that you've made either in your lifetime, in a previous lifetime, or a generational experience, that you can uncover that by going through this very gentle process where you then remove what she calls a splinter, because this is a way of being, a belief that was put into your essence, but it's not really you. So you can remove this splinter, if you like, and use techniques to then just heal it really quickly, and that can get very profound shifts in just a 90-minute session, for example.
Yeah, I agree. Like things that are kind of planted but not yours, they don't come from
Yeah,
who you are, your essence. Um,
yeah,
and yes, the shift can happen really quick, but then it takes then a little more while to just adjust to the new frequency that you're
yeah,
vibing at,
yeah,
and just I don't know, kind of like I feel like we should all give ourselves a little bit of grace, a little more grace, maybe than we usually
yeah,
do, especially nowadays when we are bombarded with information, with catastrophes happening all around the world, with this menace that you want. Well, how do you feel about working with AI and the evolution of technology now? Like, are you befriending this? What do you think? Because for me,
yeah.
nothing will replace human connection, and like in a in a calling, I wouldn't say it in a job like yours, in a calling like yours, it's, I feel there's no room for robots, but maybe things like you said, like identifying, you were talking earlier about patterns actually that you identify, like probably AI would be of help, but
Yeah.
I think that the human should be upfront, um, the human connection should be upfront and leading all of that. Are you friends with AI?
I mean, I'm always going to be a technophile. I love technology, and I've always been an early adopter, so I'm not afraid of trying new things. But I think everything needs to be tried with caution. I don't think that at the moment AI is as advanced as people think it is. Um, so I could see it, for example. So when you were talking, then I was thinking, like, for example, if you track your moon phases,
Yes.
the moon phases, and your how you feel in each moon phase, and even if you tie that into your menstrual cycle as well, and you were to put all of that in a spreadsheet, and you were to give that to AI and say, what trends could you see? I haven't tried this because this just came to me as we were talking then. That would be a really good way of using AI to maybe spot something that you wouldn't see, because you take biases when you look at data, and the AI isn't, well, it is, some of it's programmed with biases, but if you give it that data and just say analyze that data, it will analyze that data without bias.
Yeah.
So I think that it's about using everything with caution, and but it's never going to replace, it can't replace human connection, it can't replace love and emotion. Those are things that are the whole universe was created from an energy of love. You can't recreate that.
Ah, music to my ears. To quote Shakespeare, because I know you've seen
Yeah,
a play recently.
I have.
So also human nature study. Do you recall like an extraordinary moment with someone you've worked with someone you've coached, or like something that really made an impression on you and that you still carry with you, like a breakthrough, or like a milestone in your work, something amazing that happened working with someone, or a transformation that
Um,
someone has made with your help? Do you have a story to
yeah, I
share?
mean, yeah, I have a client who, when she came to me, she had suffered incredible trauma in her personal life. If you were to list down all of the um, events that had happened to her, I mean, you'd be like, what on earth? How does all this happen to one person? And she'd basically turned herself into a hermit and
Mm.
uh, really not wanting to connect with anybody, really protecting herself. It was impacting her health. So physically, emotionally, mentally, all big, big problems. Um, and it was hard to start off with because there was so much that she needed to get out. It was just not even me needing to say anything. It was just having that release of having somebody listening to you and properly hearing you was like very therapeutic. And then you can start saying, okay, so you start asking the questions. And now we're back at a place where, I mean, I've always been able to see her true essence and her power, but now she believes it as well. And the same difficult and challenging situations still exist in her life, but the way she responds to them have changed. And it's beautiful when she phones me up and she says, this has just happened and that's what I've done, or I was really struggling and I listened to the a meditation you recorded for me and it really helped me calm myself down, or we tried this and oh my god, it was incredible, it really worked, it's changed the way we interact. I mean, that's just an example of how really powerful this sort of transformation can be. But she did all that work herself. I'm there to just ask the questions and help her see things or feel things that she can't see or feel herself or couldn't.
Is it me, Claire? Are you secretly guiding me? Because I feel so seen by everything you said. This happened. It's similar to my journey as well. But
Yeah.
let's play a little bit. Let's do an
Yeah.
exercise. Say I'm a new client to you, and I come to you telling you that I don't know, I'm afraid I'll lose my job really soon.
Yeah.
I have a lot of bills to pay. Other people depend on me as well, let's say. And I'm just overwhelmed emotionally with everything coming in. how what's your advice how I should approach, how can I better slow it down, better show up for myself, and be able to align myself and just
Yeah.
breathe and say, okay,
Yeah.
things come at me one at a time. I'm ready to face it all, and to get through it. What would your advice be for someone like like
Yeah.
I
So,
describe myself now?
yeah, so normally what we would do is we would, like, you went and you breathed. So we would even do that sort of breathing together. So because when you do that, you use a completely different part of your brain and you access what we call the sage part of your brain that operates from a place of love and not a place of fear. So we would get you into that state with even just a couple of minutes of mindful breathing or listening to sounds and things. And then we would start to explore what's really going on and ask you what's the fear that sits underneath that situation. What are you really scared of with your job and with the money? What's that really all about?
Mm-hmm. Should I answer? Should I?
You can, yeah.
Let's say uh, probably the fear of failure and the constant pressure that when you're not on your own and other people depend on you, you feel so um crushed in a way, uh,
Yeah.
uh, from this weight of just carrying other people around, and you're like, I need to take care of the others first. I need to make sure that the others are have everything they need, and then I'll look at myself, and like probably this is something that I would think of. But uh while speaking, I realized that it should be the other way around. The moment that I'm good with myself,
Yeah.
and in a better position, everything else just falls into place in the right
Yeah.
way. But
Yeah.
I think like it's hard to be a girl nowadays. Probably
Yeah.
it has been since the beginning of time, but this game becomes more and more complex, and
Yeah.
yeah, like, and with this inflation and everything going on, like, this is really, it really takes a toll on your nervous system. So basically,
Yeah.
yeah, like, what would be a fast and efficient method of just bringing some comfort to my nervous system in a situation
So
like this?
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you just we can do it now. If you just sit really comfortably with your feet grounded on the floor, and you rest your hands on your lap, and you just close or lower your gaze, close your eyes or lower your gaze, and just notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in and you breathe out. And then just notice the rise and fall of your chest with the inhalation and the exhalation. And already after these just few cycles of breath, you'll notice things slowing down. And now if you take your thumb and forefinger and you rub them together very gently with so much attention that you can feel the ridges of the fingertips on each finger. And then take your attention to sound. So listen to the sound that is furthest away from you at the moment. You don't need to label it, just notice its pitch, its rhythm. And then notice the sound that is closest to you. And then if it's not the sound of your breath, see if you can hear the sound of your breath. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel? Does that feel
Calm,
good?
calmer.
Yeah.
My heart is not racing that much
Yeah.
anymore. Like, I feel okay. Yeah, it's really
And
interesting,
that's
making me aware
two
of,
2 minutes.
yeah, yeah. If we could just take, guys, just take 2 minutes out of your time daily
Exactly.
as you begin your
Yeah.
day, when you have your
Yeah.
cup of tea, like, just and
Yeah.
then go and
Yeah.
conquer the day.
Yeah. And having a cup of tea is a perfect example, because if you have the mug in your hand, then what's the temperature of the mug? What does the mug feel like? What
Ta-da.
if you're looking at the tea, what color is it? What patterns can you see? Is there steam? What does it smell like? And then when you take a sip, what different flavors? And just even something like drinking a cup of tea like that, it just calms you down.
Technically, what you've done is just taking my mind off the things that are rushing in and
Yeah.
worry, and the tens and thousands of tabs that are open in my brain,
Yeah.
and you switched my attention to something else, something tangible or audible, or
Yeah.
which completely split from what I had in my mind. So now that my focus is somewhere else,
Yeah.
from that focus, from that point where you took me to take my
Yeah.
focus, I am able to um, speak or deliver from a more regulated
Exactly.
part. Thank you so much,
So
Claire.
then if I ask you the same question from before we did that, so if you are not enjoying your job and you're worried about money and everything, your response to that question is going to be very different to what it would have been beforehand.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, you really do empower women, because I feel like going through this exercise, like embodying it, because I'm an actor, so like, so I put
Yeah.
myself in the situation that I've just
Yeah.
explained to you. So now if you would ask me again, I would say like, uh yeah, what, not that whatever happens happens, but like I am able to see it from a calm, still
Yeah.
water point of
Yeah.
view, and just approach it as okay, not fall into a victim mode, but just see what can be done from now on. And
Yeah.
for example, losing a job, if so, won't necessarily alter or fragment my self-esteem or my worth. It's not, it has nothing to do with those.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are in my calling, so I won't call it a job either. Like as an actor,
Yeah.
things are so subjective. It's never
Yeah.
about, it's not like mathematic where you need to have a certain result. It's so, sometimes it's just if it's about if someone liked your face or not, and it's
Yeah.
crushing at times, but
Yeah.
or if you said something wrong at some time, and like
Yeah.
someone you took it the wrong way, and then you can never um make amends with that or explain yourself, or even if you explain yourself, that you can't reach that person anymore. And just like life happens in such a fast lane at
Yeah.
the moment, that people simply don't have time. And with this technology that I was talking about, it's just everything is one click away or one scroll away.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
noticed that people don't take the time to repair their relationships anymore,
Yeah.
be it in love, work, friendship, you name it. They just
Yeah.
replace,
Yeah.
and we've become a consumerist uh, society, with just at times with no depth at all.
And any relationship that breaks down, yes, there's always two parties to it, but how often do people actually sit and think about what their role in the relationship breakdown has been? Because you are the common denominator in all of your relationships. So if you're complaining about relationships not working, then that's a sign to look inwards to what it is about you. What are you taking to that relationship that's causing this problem? And you're never going to find companionship or love with another person if you can't slow down and love yourself.
Yes, number one advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Claire, for having the time
My
to catch up
pleasure.
with me today. And
My
I'll
pleasure.
guess we'll speak soon.
We will, definitely.
Thank you, Claire. Have a lovely
Thank you,
day.
Katinka. You too. Bye bye.